Hi folks, this is Greg from Heroes Beacon, and today we're here to do another unboxing video. This time we're unboxing the Tarkir Dragonstorm Play Booster box. So this is for the upcoming Tarkir Dragonstorm set that's releasing April 4th. So if you're interested in picking up some Dragonstorm or playing in some of the pre-releases, look for us at Heroes Beacon this coming Friday. The pre-release is April 4th at 6 p.m. is our first pre-release. Then we have another pre-release on the 5th at 11 a.m. and another at 4 p.m. So be sure to catch those, try out some of the new cards. We'll also have singles, commander decks. We'll have collector boosters, bundles, and all that fun stuff, all available this Friday, April 4th. So let's just crack into our boosters here. As you see, this has already been opened. We had to scan the barcodes to get the prices in the system. Yeah, we'll give it a go. What are we looking for out of these boxes? So the big hits of Dragonstorm are going to be your Planeswalkers. So Ugin is back in this set. His Planeswalker card is one of the bigger hits if you're looking for value. There is also Elspeth. She's another really good Planeswalker in this set, and she's also a token doubler. There is the new 0 mana Mana Rock, whose name has just left my mind, but it's 0 mana Mana Rock that taps for 1 mana of any color, provided you have a dragon on the battlefield. The other card that's going to be fairly sought after is Dragogenesis, which allows you to play your dragons for free. So those are a few cards that we're going to be looking for. There's also the mythic dragons. There's all kinds of fun stuff in this set. Lots of dragons in general, if you're looking for them, and some neat treatments. So let's give this a crack, and we'll see what we get. So starting with our first pack, now I'm going to skip through a lot of commons, uncommons, because those are going to be fairly commonly seen. We're going to see a lot of those. I might highlight a few of them, but by and large, I'm not going to go into too much detail about them. So we have Cruel Truths, Sagu Wildling, High Spire Bellringer, Tempest Hawk. Now, this is one of the a deck can have any number of cards. So if you want to build a commander deck with, 99 Tempest Hawks and no lands for some reason, you can certainly do that. But that's a neat card. Underfoot Underdogs, Jcast Sentinel, Temur Tawny back, Opulent Palace. So these are back for mana fixing, great for limited. Not bad for some commander decks. If you're running multicolor commander decks, you don't have any other real options. These still work just fine. Salt Road Skirmish, Static Snare, and our first rare is Narset Jeskai Waymaster. So she's this Narset Jeskai, legendary human monk. At the beginning of your end step, you may discard your hand if you draw cards equal to the number of spells you've cast this turn. So she is very much a storm card and a storm commander. Oh, and then we have, so this is the clan treatment cards. So it's the clan symbol. They're mostly black. This is Sinkhole Surveyor, 1 in the black. For a bird scout, it's a 1/3 flyer. When this creature attacks, you lose a life, and this creature endures 1. Hundred Battle Veteran, Rugged Highlands, and our token is a copy. So our pack number 2, Dragonback Lancer, Jeskai Devotee, Dragon's Prey, Roamer Routine, Humbling Elder, Summon Intimidator, Dust-Yet Earthcarver, Reverberating Summons, Bewildering Blizzard, Wayspeaker Bodyguard, Skirmish Rhinos. This is like a sort of a different take on the Siege Rhino from the first Tarkir set. A rare Frostcliff Siege. So there is a siege cycle in the set. There are 2 color sieges that let you choose from one of 2 clans, and most of them are very good. So this one enters, you choose Jeskai or Tamer. Jeskai, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Always really good effect. Tamer, creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample and haste. Also a very good effect. And Cruel Truths, Dismal Backwater, and a copy token. Sarkon's Resolve, Ringing Strike Mastery, Poise Practitioner, another Jeskai Devotee, Alesha's Legacy, Dragonstorm Globe, Lightfoot Technique, Storm Beacon Blade, Rainveil Rejuvenator, Venerated Stormslinger, Frontier Bivouac. We have another clan card. This is Lotus Dancers, 2 black, green, blue for a 3/6 zombie bird with lifelink. When this creature attacks, search your library for a black card, a green card, and a blue card. Put those cards in your graveyard, then shuffle. That is a really good effect for that color, or that clan. So if you're playing Sultai, that's right up your alley. So we get a warrior token this time. We're gonna see lots of cards that make warriors. It's the mobilize mechanic makes warriors. Dragon's Prey. Oh, Snakeskin Veil is back. Humbling Elder, Fortress Kingguard, Devoted Duelist, Heritage Reclamation, Emerald Sentinel, Teeming Dragonstorm, Keru Goldkeeper, Sunset Strike Master. First rare is Anafenza, Unyielding Lineage. So most of you remember Anafenza from the last Tarkir sets. So 2 in a white, legendary creature, Spirit Soldier. Flash, first strike, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, Anafenza endures 2. Which means you're going to put 2 +1/+1 counters on it or create a 2/2 white spirit creature token. So not bad. Our second rare, Rediscover the Way. It's a saga, a Jeskai saga. For the first and second chapters, you look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. And the final chapter is whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, target creature control gains double strike until end turn. Now you can find full art sagas now in this set as well, so it's something to keep your eye out for. Monastery Messenger, Jungle Hollow. See, we'll see a lot of the tap lands in your packs. Great for draft and sealed, because this is going to be a 3-color set. Adorned Crocodile, Sultai Devotee, Ice Ridge Serpent, Slot Road Pack Beast, Narcissus Rebuke, Dustchest Earthcarver, Summon Intimidator, Sandstep Citadel, Kishla Trawlers, Hardened Tactician. I actually really like the Hardened Tactician. So 1 white, black, Human Warrior for 2/4. It's 2/4, which is already pretty good stats. 1, sacrifice a token, draw a card. I think that is pretty sweet. Iridescent Tiger is another really interesting one. So 4 in a red, when this creature enters, if you cast it, add Wooburg. I mean, it's basically free, and it kind of fixes your mana. A rare is Stillness in Motion, 1 in the blue. Enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep, mill 3 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, exile this enchantment and put 5 cards from your graveyard on top of your library in any order. It's a really strange enchantment there. Shock Brigade, Bloodfell Caves, and an elephant. Say it's not quite a Lab Maniac or yeah, so it's also a little different. But also setting up potential win con. Fire Inform, Alicia's Legacy, Sarkom's Resolve, Agent of Kodos, Dragonback Lancer, Storm Shriek Feral. This is, I think, our first Omen card I've seen. So these cards have sort of like an adventure, except when you cast it, you shuffle the card into your library instead of putting it into exile on an adventure. Watcher at the Wayside, Luxodon Battle Priest, Stalwart Successor, Roiling Dragonstorm, Nomad Outpost, Avenger of the Fallen, 2 black for a human warrior, a rare. It's a 2/4 Death Touch, Mobilize X. This is where you create those soldiers, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. This is bananas. So if you have a lot of creatures in your graveyard, you can attack with this thing and make a small armada. Now, those do get sacrificed at the beginning of your end step, but that's still pretty solid. Alicia's Legacy, Scoured Barrens, and an art card. That's the first art card we've seen so far. Lightning Whisper, Ration Sunshield, Shock Brigade, Abzan Devotee, Trader Envoy, Monastery Messenger, Lightfoot Technique, Reverberating Summons, Jeskai Brushmaster, Knockout Maneuver, Strategic Betrayal, Nature's Rhythm. So this is sort of a Green Sun Zenith style card. So X green green for sorcery, search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less, put it to the battlefield, then shuffle. Then it has Harmonize. So X green 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 to cast this from your graveyard. And you can use a creature and tap it for generic mana equal to its power. So if you get some big stompy creatures, they can help pay for this card's cost. Dragonback Lancer, Lusting Sands, and a Spirit. So spirits are going to come from the Endure mechanic, where you can put +1/+1 counters on a creature or make a spirit. Meticulous Artisan, Feral Deathgorger, Piercing Exhale, Snowmelt Stag, Stormplane Detainment, Seized Opportunity, Sibsig's Appraiser, Whirlweek Stormbrood, Mardu Monument, Attuned Hunter, 100 Battle Veteran. Ooh, there's the Glacierwood Siege in full art. I like this siege. So for Temur, whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, target player mills 4 cards. That's something I won't be doing if you're looking to get stuff in your graveyard. Sultai, you may play lands from your graveyard, which is a great effect for only 3 mana. Then we have Codis the Fangkeeper. So he is 1 in Sultai for a 2/1 indestructible zombie warrior. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, exile top X cards of their library where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. That's really interesting. That could be a lot of fun. Slap some equipment on him, do some things to boost his power, and then mill your opponents for value. Mardu Devotee, Meticulous Artisan, Abzan Devotee, Piercing Exhale, Snowtail Stag, Roiling Dawnbreaker, Tamur Taniback, Inspired Vanguard, Fresh Start, Frontline Rush, Draconologist, 2 in the blue. For a 1/3 human wizard, when this creature enters, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant, sorcery, or dragon card from among them. Put into your hand. Put the rest of them on your library in a random order. Untapped dragons you control have hexproof. Not a bad card if you're running dragons and have blue. Oh, another siege. That's the Temur Sultai one, this time just the regular art. Whirling Dragonstorm, a Windscarred Crag, and an Ugin art card. He's looking pretty badass. Fortress Kingguard, Twin Bolt's back. I played Brigade, Snakeskin Veil again, Dispelling Exhale, Wolverborn Dragon, Vermag Nightwatch, Disruptive Stormbrood, Spectral Denial, Mystic Monastery, Gurmag Rakshasa, and Sarkhan Dragon Ascendant. So 1 in a red. When he enters, you can behold a dragon. So that means if you reveal a dragon from your hand, or choose a dragon you control. If you do, you create a treasure token. Whenever a dragon control enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on Sarkhan until end of turn. Sarkhan becomes a dragon in addition to his other types and gains flying. Great way to ramp into some dragons, get yourself a treasure, and this guy just grows through the course of the game. Sanskrit Rider, Bloodtall Caves, and a bird token. Not sure yet what makes bird tokens. Maybe we'll find out. Caustic Exhale. There's a breath weapon in each color. Crotic Nest Guard, Temur Devotee, Ration Sunshield, Molten Exhale, Everrun Sentinel, Temur Tony Hawk, Quarry Mountain Stalwart, Abzan Monument, Krumar Initiate, Ambling Stormshell. 3 blue for a turtle. It's a 5/9 for 5 mana. Ward 2, whenever this creature attacks, put 3 stun counters on it. There's the catch. And draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a turtle spell, untap this creature. Well, if you're playing Turtle Tribal, this guy would be pretty good. Perenation. So 3 and Abzan, so white, black, green. For sorcery, return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a hexproof counter on it and an indestructible counter on it. So not a bad card to return something from your graveyard to play. Wayspeaker Bodyguard, Thornwood Falls, a soldier. I'm just gonna skim through these commons pretty quickly at this point. Host of the Hereafter, Wayspeaker Bodyguard, Dragonclaw Strike. Oh, sorry guys. And one of the land cycle. So this is Dalkavan Encampment. This land enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain. So it's usually the 2 enemy lands that you have to control for this to come in untapped. Tap it for a white, or for 2 and a white, tap it. Whenever you attack this turn, create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end steps. That's very much the Mardu mechanic. So these lands, the blue one is excellent. The green and black one's not bad either. But the blue one I think is the best of the bunch. Oh, start the first basic land I've seen so far. There's a neat cycle of lands you can find. I think they're primarily in the collector boosters. There's the ones with the dragon shadow crossing the land, and there's the ones that are the dragon eyes, which are really sharp. So again, I'm just going to breeze through these commons at this point. An Opulent Palace, Strategic Betrayal, Rally the Monastery, Quarcy Revenant. Now, this is also our buy a box promo. There's a full art for this as your buy a box. 1 black, Flying Death Touch Lifelink. It's got Renew. For 2 and a black, you exile this card from your graveyard, put a flying counter, a death touch counter, a lifelink counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. It's a 3/3. So a 3/3 flying death touch lifelink for 3 is already pretty good. And then we've got another clan card. Oh, we got the exact same card with the clan art. Auroral Procession, Born Caring Butcher, another Rally of the Monastery, another Codus, the Fangkeeper, this time in non-foil. And there's the Dracogenesis. So this is one of the more, I guess, sought-after cards. It is 6 and 2 red for an enchantment. You can cast dragon spells without paying their mana cost. So If you're playing a dragon deck, you're probably ramping pretty heavily anyway, and if you drop this, then you're going to be having a fun time. Now, there are going to be a lot of dragon decks being built as a result of this set, so those dragon cards are going to be fairly sought after. Sage of the Fang, War Effort, Dalkvin Pack Beasts. Ooh, so this is the showcase, the dragon art showcase, which is pretty sharp. It's a Stormshriek Feral. Magma Hellkite. So 2 red for a 4/5 flying dragon. When this creature enters, destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. Its controller searches the library for a basic land, puts the battlefield tapped with a stun counter on it, then shuffles. That's pretty nice for a 4/5 for 4 mana. It's a good effect too. You can find some pretty bothersome lands in Commander, and folks don't tend to run much land removal. So an effect like that can be pretty valuable. Especially when it's just tacked onto a pretty beefy creature to begin with. Overwhelming Surge, Fresh Start, Starry-Eyed Skyrider, Skirmish Rhino, Death Begets Life, 5 black, green, blue for a sorcery. Destroy all creatures and enchantments. Draw a card for each permanent destroyed this way. That's it's a high cost, but man, if you pull it off, you can get a lot of value out of it. Focus the Minds. The Warrior Token. Don't think we've seen any of the Mythic Dragons yet. That may change soon. Let's cross our fingers. Venerated Stormsinger, Frontier Bivouac, Sunpearl Kirin, Veteran Ice Climber. Ooh, this is another nice one. And in the dragon art frame. Call the Spirit Dragon. So this is Wooburg, one of each color. For an enchantment, dragons you control have indestructible. At the end of your upkeep, for each color, put a +1/+1 counter on a dragon you control of that color. If you had put a +1/+1 counter on 5 dragons this way, you win the game. So this is one of those I win cards. Zergo's Vanguard, Whirlwind Stormbrood, Margie Monument, Formation Breaker, Rot Curse Rakshasa. So 1 in a black for a 5/5 trample with Decayed. So this creature can't block when it attacks sacrifice at the end of combat. It's got Renew for X and black. Exiles creature card from your graveyard. Put a Decayed counter on each of X target creatures. Activate only as a sorcery. So that's an interesting effect. So you can give a bunch of your opponent's creatures Decayed, which means that if they attack with them, those creatures die. Honestly, 2 mana, just getting in for 1 hit of 5 is pretty good. That's not bad. So Overwhelming Surge, Jeskai Brushmaster, Rite of Renewal, Corroding Dragonstorm, Lotus Light Dancers, 2 black, green, blue for a zombie bard 3/6 with lifelink. When this creature enters, search your library for a black card. Oh, we've got this guy again. Non-foil this time. Dragonstorm Globe, Jungle Hollow, And our card. Traveling Botanist, Fleeting Effigy, Marshal of the Lost, Riverwheel Sweep, Mardu Siegebreaker. Looks like a Final Fantasy piece of art. So one in Mardu for a 4/4 Death Touch Haste. When this creature enters, exile up to one other target creature card you control until this creature leaves the battlefield. Whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent create a tapped token that's a copy of the exiled card attacking that opponent. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice those tokens. That is pretty cool. I really like that effect. So I've noticed from videos of people unboxing the collector boosters, a lot of the clan cards keep coming up to the point that they almost bleed together just because they're all black. But I have seen a lot of those in the collector boosters. You can also only get the mocks with the serialized version of the mocks in collector boosters. I believe the art lands with the dragon eye is only in collector boosters as well. Oh, here's now one of the lands. I like this one as well. Great Arishan City. Landers tap unless you control forest or plains. Tap it for a black. And then one a black, exile a creature card from your graveyard to create a 1/1 white spirit creature token. So turn your graveyard into dudes. So there's the uncommon Starry-Eyed Skyrider, Unrooted Ancestor, Runescale Stormbrood, Teamer Monument, and Furious Forebear. So the monuments are, if you're in a limited environment, draft, sealed, for 2 mana, they can get you a land, fix your mana if you're playing multicolored deck. So something worth looking for. Especially in a set that wants you to play at least 3 colors. Let's see. So Stalwart Successor, Whirling Dragon. We've seen a lot of the Whirling Dragonstorm. I think this is probably the 4th or 5th. Nomad Outpost, War Effort. See a couple of these too. Awaken the Honored Dead. So this is Sultai, black, green, blue. Chapter 1, destroy target non-land permanent. Chapter 2, mill 3 cards. Chapter 3, you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature card or land card from your graveyard to your hand. So just to be able to destroy target non-land permanent for 3 mana, that's not bad. And the other 2 chapters are just gravy. Defibrillating Current. Inspirited Vanguard, Wildering Blizzard, Frontline Rush, Teamer Battlecrier. So this is a Teamer, green, blue, red for a 4/3 Orc Ranger. During your turn, spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. So that would include this guy. So for every creature power 4 or greater you have, your creatures are just going to get increasingly cheap to cast. That sounds pretty solid, especially in those colors. A lot of very, very playable cards in this set for anyone who's playing Commander. Shocking Sharpshooter, Kishla Skimmer, Essence Anchor. Here's a Dragon Frame, Durgar Island Dragon, Clarion Conqueror. This is another really solid card that's probably fairly sought after by those playing in a bit more competitive of a format. So 2 and a white, flying, activated abilities of artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers can't be activated. So it's a 3/3 flyer for 3 with, some pretty darn good abilities.
What?
There's some very control-y white cards in this set. Another Tempest Hawk for a 2 of as many as we want. Auroral Procession, Bonecare Butcher, Static Snare, Stadium Headliner. I like this guy. So he's a 1/1 Goblin Warrior for a single red mana with Mobilize 1. So whenever he attacks, you make a tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token that you sacrifice to be in next end step. So you play him for 1 mana, next turn he attacks, and he brings down another body with him. For 2 mana, you can sacrifice this creature. It deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature. So you can turn to removal in the late game. Is pretty interesting. There's another Draconologist, this time with the beautiful dragon frame. Luxdon Battle Priest. Upside down token? Right of Renewal, Aegis Sculptor, Descendant of Storms, Felithar, Dawn of the Abzan. So this is a 3/3 human warrior, legendary creature for Abzan, white, black, green. Trample, when Felithar enters or attacks, you may sacrifice a non-land permanent. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So yeah, sacrifice a token to beef up your entire board. Maybe a treasure. And there's the blue lands. This is probably the best of the bunch, again, because of a little more practical and competitive games. So it enters tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest, taps for blue, and then blue and tap, the next spell you cast this turn can't be countered. Now, it's not going to keep people from interfering with you if you're going to like cast multiple spells, but if you have one spell that you absolutely need to cast to win the game, this land can help you get there. Karakik Guardian, Alchemist Assistant, Encroaching Dragonstorm, Breaching Dragonstorm, Yathan Roadwatcher. So 1 in Abzan for a human scout 3/3. When this creature enters, if you cast it, mill 4 cards. When you do, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's actually really good. Again, just a lot of really interesting, playable cards. I think this will be a very fun set to play in Limited. Yothan Tomb Guard, Sonic Shrieker, Shocking Sharpshooter, Kishless Skimmer, Jeskai Revelation. So 4 in Jeskai for an instant, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Jeskai Revelation deals 4 damage to any target. Create 2 1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. Draw 2 cards, gain 4 life. This reminds me of an ultimatum, just easier to cast. Snowmelt Stag, Rugged Highlands, and our token. We're down to our last 2 packs. Let's see if we get something entertaining to go out with. So Duty Beyond Death, Sultai Monument, Formation Breaker, Constrictor Sage, Tursa Light Shatter. So 2 and a red for a legendary creature Orc Wizard, 3/3 with haste. When Tezra Light Shatter enters, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Whenever she attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, exile a card at random from your graveyard. You may play that card this turn. And a foiled Showcase Frame Breaching Dragonstorm. This is our last pack. 100 Battle Veteran, Duty Beyond Death, Teamer Monument, Runescale Stormbrood, and another Stillness in Motion. So that was a box of Tarkir Dragonstorm. So we got some decent pulls, some fun cards, lots of interesting mechanics that I think are going to be fun in Limited. Lots of cards I think will be very powerful in Commander and in other formats. So certainly check it out. Come join us at Heroes Beacon on the 4th when the set releases, and pick up your singles, pick up your collector boosters, pick up some Commander decks, pick up a box, get your buy a box promo, or join us for some pre-release events. So that's all going to be this weekend at Heroes Beacon, and we look forward to seeing you. So thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you around.